everybody, and welcome. This is a yoga vinyasa fusion with Pilates moves. So for today's class, we're going to use a set of blocks. If you don't have blocks, no worries at all. Maybe grab some soft pillows that are in smaller size. You can also use books. We'll use them from a balancing perspective during our warm-up, as well as maybe between our ankles, coming into a half camel, reaching up, just an alternate position to reach your hand back. We'll also place that block under our foot and possibly between our thighs or our ankles as we get more deeper after our warm-up. So we're going to start today in a child's pose, bringing your knees wide, bringing your toes to touch, and then sinking your hips towards your heels and just resting your chin or your forehead on the floor. You can also place your forehead on a block, bringing that earth a little bit closer towards you, stretching your fingertips out long in front, focusing here on your breath. Strong inhales, strong exhales. Filling your belly, your ribs, your chest. Hold it for a breath. And full exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Filling all the way up to the top, belly, ribs, and chest. Hold it for a breath. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly, allowing yourself to sink all the way down. On your next inhale, seal your lips, breathing in and out through your nose, filling your belly, your ribs, chest. Exhale through your nose, chest, ribs, belly. Keep this breath going. Keeping your chin or your forehead on the floor or that block, simultaneously reaching your fingertips long, stretching your hips towards your heels, lengthening long in opposite direction. From here, lift your palms, pressing your fingertips in towards the floor, feeling that stretch all along your rib cage, your shoulders, releasing your hands down. Walk your hands over to the right side, simultaneously pressing your left hip towards your heel, feeling that rotation in your left side. Come back through center, walking your hands this time over to the left side of your mat. Both palms are down. Actively pressing your right hip in towards your right heel. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can gently rotate your right armpit down towards the floor. On your next exhale, gently walk your hands to the center. Option to bend your elbows, bringing your palms to touch. You can also bring your thumbs to the nape of your neck for a tricep stretch. You're welcome to hold it here, or you can walk your elbows out towards the crown of your head, deepening that tricep stretch. Focusing once again on your breath in and out through your nose. Go ahead and release your palms back down towards the floor. Walk your hands in towards your knees. From here, bring your knees in towards one another, grabbing one or two blocks. We're going to rise up, stacking our shoulders over our hips. Keep dropping that, stacking your shoulders over your hips here. Go ahead and draw your arms up high towards the ceiling. Release your right hand towards the block is option 1. You can also release it towards your heel, deepening that stretch, pressing your hips forward. Your left arm stays up overhead. Maybe gaze up, look up towards the ceiling. And then coming upright, switching sides. Left hand towards the block is option 1. You can deepen that stretch by placing your left hand towards your left heels. Your hips are pressing forward. Your right arm comes up high overhead. And then release down. One more time here on each side. Right hand to a block or your right ankle. Pressing your hips forward. Left arm comes up overhead. Maybe bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Release your left hand down. Left hand towards the block or your left ankle. Press your hips forward. Right arm comes up high overhead. Gaze up. And then release your right arm down. From here, we're going to remove those blocks off to the side. We're going to have a seat on our heels. Draw your arms up high overhead. Bring your hands to heart center and then release your hands towards your knees. Round your spine, coming into a seated cat. Gaze down towards your navel. And then arch your back. Gazing up towards the ceiling, bring your hands towards your hips. Round your spine, hands towards your knees. Coming into seated cat. Hands to thighs. Gazing up. Coming into seated cow. One more time on each side. Hands to knees. You can probably hear my cat meowing in the background. Bring your hands to your hips, gazing up towards the ceiling. And then come to a neutral spine, stacking your shoulders directly over your hips. From here, draw your arms up high overhead. We're going to cactus the arms, lift your chest, bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Arms come up, gaze comes forward. Bend the elbows, spread your fingertips nice and wide. Really pull your elbows down. Bring your gaze forward. 2 more times. Elbows pull down, lift your gaze, spread your fingertips even wider. Gaze comes forward, arms overhead. Go ahead and draw your elbows down. And then release up. From here, we're going to walk ourselves out to a tabletop position. So once again, your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips, your back is flat. Option to tuck your toes, or you can leave the top shoelace portion of your toes down. We're going to come into table cat and cow. Lift your gaze, hammock your belly down towards the floor. And then scoop and arch, round your spine. If your toes are tucked, go ahead and untuck them now as you round your spine to the ceiling. Tuck your toes, inhale, gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And then scoop and arch, round your spine towards the ceiling. One more time through, tuck your toes, lift your gaze. And then untuck your toes, round your spine. Come back to a neutral spine, your back is flat. Maybe moving your hips side to side. Warming up those outer hips. From here, come back to center. Bring your palms outward. And then just side to side, warming up those wrists. Come back to center. Bring your fingertips towards your knees at any angle. They can be facing directly towards your knees or at an angle between the outside and towards your toes. Option to hold it here. You can also rock forwards and backwards, deepening that stretch. Go to the depth that works for you. Come back to center. Bring your fingertips away from your knees. Flip your right palm over so your right palm is lifted. Option to hold it there, or you can rock forwards and backwards if that feels good to you. Come back to center. Bring your right palm down towards the floor. Flip your left palm over, left palm up towards the ceiling, and then rock forwards and back. Come here, Mia. She's a very vocal cat. Go ahead and come back to center. Flip your left palm down towards the floor. Bring your hands up palm apart forward. We're going to do some barrel rolls here. So bring your hips towards your wrist and then down to the right. Hips towards your heels, over to the left side. And then reversing that direction. Hopefully your knee doesn't crack like mine just did. And then come back, walk your hands directly under your shoulders if you had previously drew them forward as I had mentioned. So once again, your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're gonna lift the right leg and draw a few hip circles here. Up and out. And then just reversing that direction. Knee comes out and up. One more. Go ahead and extend that right leg straight back. So your hips are squared, your right toe is down towards the floor. You can tuck or leave the left toes untucked. Your right leg is straight. From here, we're going to lift and lower that right leg. Just lift and lower, slow and controlled. Maybe bringing your gaze down towards your thumb and index finger. Maybe a few feet in front of your fingertips. Keep it going. That's it. Give me two more here. Option to extend your opposite left arm. All right, hold your right leg, optional left arm lifted. From here, we're gonna pulse it for 10 and 9. That's 8, 7, 6 more, stay with it. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg lifted. Bend your knee. From here, we're going to press it up for 10 and 9. Option to lower that left arm or keep it just where it's at. 7 if you're with me. And 6. Halfway there. And 4. That's it. Last 2. And 1. From here, hold it lifted. We're going to extend and bend for 10 and 9. That's 8. Slow and controlled. 7. Last 6. You are so close. 5 more. Last 3. Set that left hand down if you need to. Last 2. And last 1. Hold that right leg straight. Bring your left hand down. Bring that right leg over to the outside of your left knee, gazing, looking over your left shoulder. Maybe rock forwards and backwards, deepening that stretch here. All right, go ahead and bring that right knee back in line, directly underneath your right hip. Now we have the other side. Go ahead and extend your left leg, drawing some hip circles here, keeping the knee bent at first. Just drawing that leg up and around, and then reversing that direction. So we're working the left leg. As we get into our lifts and lowers of the left leg, you're welcome to extend that right arm or keep it planted on the floor. Go ahead and extend that left leg. Your hips are square, so avoid letting your hip open up. Keep your hip in line with the right. Your left leg is straight, your toes are pointed down. We're gonna lower and lift for 10 and 9. Squeeze the base of your glute as you lower and lift. Left toe is flexed. That's it, 6 more. Keep it going. Halfway, maybe extend your right arm, challenge your balance. Keep your core engaged, your navel's pulled in towards your spine. 3 more if you're with me. And 2. Yes, you can. Last 1. All right, hold that left leg lifted. We're going to pulse it for 10 and 9. That's 8. Squeeze your glute. 7 more. And 6. That's it. 5 more. 4. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold that left leg lifted. Bend your knee. Keep your left toes flexed. Press up and release for 10. That's 9. Core is engaged. Do not let your belly hammock down. Keep your back nice and flat. Always an option to bring your right hand to your lower back to make sure that you're not rounding or arching your spine. 4 more. Last 3. 2 more. Last 1. All right, hold that leg lifted. We're going to extend and bend for 10. This is it. You've got 9. Keep the left toes flexed. And 8. Your right toes can be flexed or relaxed. Top shoelace portion on the floor. 6 more. Maybe extend your right arm straighter. All right, 4 more. Stay with me. Last 2. And 1. Hold that left leg straight. Bring your right hand down directly under your right shoulder. And then bring that left leg over to the outside of your right foot. Maybe gazing, looking over your right shoulder. Deepening that stretch. And then from here, go ahead and draw that left knee back underneath your left hip. Maybe patter out your toes a little bit. All right, from here, tuck your toes. Bring your hands a palm print forward. We're going to lift up into our first downward facing dog. Press your hips up, biceps frame your ears, gazes toward your toes, your shins, your knees, your thighs, or your navel. You're welcome to hold it here, or you can pedal out your heels. Let me move this so you can actually see what my feet are doing. Option to pedal out your heels here. One at a time. Lifting both of your heels and lowering them over to the right side. Lift them once more, lower them over to the left side this time. Lift, lower them down towards the floor. From here, we're going to bend our knees coming into a power dog so your arms are still straightened out. Bend your knees back to down dog so your shins are hovering. Bend to a hover, hips stay lifted, and press up and back. Bend, and press up. All right, this time we're going to come into a power dog. Press forward into your first high plank. So options here, you can lower your knees down as we lower our arms. You want to slow and control for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way down. Untuck your toes. Hands stay under your shoulders. Give me 2 mini cobras. Pressing up. Release down. Press up. Release down. From here, relax your right leg, left hand. Extend your right arm directly out from your right shoulder. Lift your left leg up and over for a hip opener and a right shoulder stretch. You can just relax your right ear on the floor. Come back to your stomach. Extend your legs out long, hip width apart parallel. Right hand comes back under your right shoulder. Lift up, mini cobra. Release down. 1 more. Lift up. Release down. From here, make sure you have plenty of space to your left side. Relax your right hand, left leg. Extend your left arm directly out from your left shoulder. Lift your right leg up and over, opening up your right hip and your left shoulder. Maybe bringing your left ear or cheek to the floor. Come back to center. Give me 1 mini cobra this time. Hands under your shoulders. Press up. Release down. Walk your hands under your rib cage. Press up. Full cobra. Gaze over your left shoulder. Up towards the ceiling. Over your right shoulder. Up towards the ceiling, bring your gaze forward. Tuck your toes, coming through tabletop or pressing your hips up into downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. All right. Going to switch sides here. Just gonna switch so I can stay facing you guys. We're still in our downward facing dog. From here, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Knee to opposite elbow. Kick it back. Step your right foot in between your palms. From here, your left leg stays straight back. Keeping your left hand to the inside of your right foot. Option to bring it to a block. And then lifting your right arm up high towards the ceiling. Circle out your wrist. We're going to lower and tap for 3. And lift. That's 2. 1 more. All right, go ahead and lower your right hand to the floor. If your left knee is tilted, go ahead and lower it down to the floor. Your right knee is still in front. Bring both hands down and walk your right foot to the outside of your right palm. So your toes are at about 2 o'clock, right foot forward, left foot back. From here, we're just gonna hinge back and then press your hips forward. So you're bending and straightening into that right leg. Go ahead and hold your hips forward. We're going to place our right hand to the inside of our right knee. Tip onto that knife edge of your right foot and look over your right shoulder. Lizard pose with a stretch. Bring it back to center. Few options here. You can grab blocks to place underneath your forearms. Coming down onto your forearms, you're also more than welcome to stay on your wrists. You can also come all the way down onto your forearms. Still tilting that right foot outward, your knee is pressing outward. Holding and breathing. Go ahead and plant your hands down, press your shoulders up. Tuck your left toe and then bring your right leg back, three-legged dog, and then step your right leg down. Go ahead and kick your left leg up, three-legged dog. Draw your left knee to your left elbow, kick it back, knee to nose, kick it back, left knee to right elbow, kick it back, and then step your left foot in between your palms. Option to hold it here with your right hand to the inside of your left foot or on a block. You can reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, circling out your left wrist, maybe gazing up or down. Reach your left arm up, tap it down towards your right wrist and up. 2 more. Down towards your wrist and up. All right, last one. Go ahead and release your left hand to the outside of your left foot. Release your right knee, untuck your right toes, and walk your left foot to the outside of your left wrist. Your left toes are about 10 o'clock. From here, we're going to hinge backwards, straighten that left leg, and then press your hips forward. Hinge it back and forward. 1 more. Hold the hinge forward. Few options here. You can bring your left hand to the inside of your left knee, tipping onto the knife outer edge of your left foot, gazing, looking over your left shoulder. Lizard lunge with a stretch. Nice twist here. Come back to center. Few options. You can bring your forearms directly on the floor or on a block. You can also tuck your right toes, hovering your right leg. Whether your forearms are on the floor, on the block, you can also keep your wrist planted into the floor. From here, step your left leg back. Bring your foot down. Downward facing dog, pedal your heels. Go ahead and walk your hands back towards your feet. Forward fold. Give me a half lift, hands to shins. Crown away from your body, back to a forward fold. And then walk yourself back out to a downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. How are we looking on time? And we are perfect. All right, pedal the heels. We're gonna get into some more flows here. Now the fun begins. All right, we're gonna want those blocks out in front of us. Go ahead and stay in your downward dog. Pedal your heels, biceps frame your ears. Lift your right leg high to the ceiling. Open up your hip, bend, stack your knee. Maybe circle out your ankle. Maybe circle out your hip. Both directions. Square out your hips, three-legged dog. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Right knee to left elbow. Option to hold it here. You can kick it through to fallen triangle, lifting your left arm high towards the ceiling. We're going to lower and lift for 2. And 1. All right, go ahead and lower the hips. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left hip. Make sure you have plenty of space here. Right arm comes up. We're going to press the hips up. Woo. Lower the hips down. Carve your hands back down in front. Lift up. Kick your right leg straight back, three-legged dog. Step your right foot in between your palms. Rise up to high crescent, shoulders stacked over your ears. Over your ears, my goodness, you guys, I can talk. Bend your elbows, cactus your arms, bend the back knee down. And lift 2 more. Bend. And lift. All right, last one. Open up to warrior 2. Pivot your left toes. Deep bend in your front right leg. We're going to lift up, straighten that right leg, arms overhead, and bend. 1 more. All right, hold the bend in the knee. Come into extended side angle. And reverse. 1 more time through. This time, maybe hover the right hand. You can also bring in front. And reverse. Left arm behind your back or down your left leg. Come back to warrior 2. From here, straighten your right leg. Bump your hips back, tick-tock your hands forward, coming in triangle. You can place your right hand on the floor, on your leg, or on a block. Left arm is up. Try to rotate that left arm back. Really open up your shoulder. Squeeze your thighs towards one another. And reverse. Come back down. All right, option to stay here. You can deepen that triangle, or if you'd like, we're going to use those blocks. Bend into your right knee. Woo. Bend into your right knee. We're going to come into half moon. So lift that top left leg. Left arm comes up. Your gaze can be down. You can challenge your gaze, bringing it up. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Bend into that right knee. Release your left leg back. Straighten your right leg. Come back into triangle and reverse. All right, from here, we're going to pivot the front toes, coming into warrior 1. Deep bend into that front right leg. That back leg is at an angle. Let's see what I have here. All right, clasp your hands behind your back, opening up your chest. Clasping your hands behind your back. You can also always bring your hands to your lower back or clasp your hands. We're going to hinge forward, bring our right shoulder to the inside of our right knee, and lift up. Humble warrior crunches. Release it down, and back up. Coming down. Hold it here. We're going to release our hands down if you had them binded, and we're going to straighten our right leg, coming into pyramid. Again, your back foot is at an angle. Your front toes are facing forward. Try squeeze your thighs together, holding here. Maybe reversing your fingertips towards your left toes, bringing your forehead towards your knee. You can always have a generous bend into that front knee, or you can hold it straight. Go ahead and rise up, bend into that front knee, back to warrior one. From here, come into eagle arms, right arm underneath the left. You can bind your hand, just facing you guys so you can see, you can bind your hands. You can also clasp opposite shoulders. We're gonna come into those humble warrior crunches again. Right shoulder down towards the right knee and up. Release down and up. One more. All right, from here, rise up, arms overhead, cartwheel your hands down, step your right leg back, option to hover it as you flow, coming down or onto your knees. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, pedal your heels. All right, you all ready to do that? With the left side, fun times continue. All right. So you're in that downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Keep your hips lifted, biceps frame your ears. Lift your left leg high to the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Circle out your left ankle. Maybe circle out your left knee, left hip. From here, square out your hips, flex your left foot. Draw your left knee or left elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back, here we come. Left knee to right elbow, option to hold it here, or you can kick through fallen triangle, lifting your right arm up high towards the ceiling. We're gonna lower and tap for 2, and lift. All right, on the next one, lower your hips. Make sure you have plenty of space behind you to the right. A little limit on space, you're gonna slide forward. Your legs are still on that V. Bring your right hand to the outside of your right hip, left arm comes up high overhead. Press your hips forward. And then lower, cartwheel your hands down back to where you started, lift your hips up, tuck your knee in, kick it straight back, three-legged dog, and then step forward, high crescent, rise up, right foot back, left foot forward, bend the elbows, cactus the arms as you bend the bottom knee down, and lift. 2 more, and lift. 1 more. All right, hold it here, deep inhale. On your exhale, pivot the right toes, open up to warrior 2. Tee out the arms, deep bend that front left leg. Straighten that left leg, arms come up high overhead. And down. 1 more. And down. Come into a stance angle, left arm towards your knee or hovering in space. Extend the right fingertips nice and long. Commit to that bend in your front left leg. Reverse your warrior, tuck your right hand behind your back, left arm comes up high overhead. Keep that bend, come back to extended side angle, maybe hover that left arm in space, maybe draw it forward, and then reverse your warrior. All right, come back to warrior 2, tee out your arms, straighten that front left leg, bump your hips back, draw your arms out as far as you can, and then tick-tock your arms down. Your left hand can be hovering in space. You can rest it on your leg. You can also bring it to a block. Maybe rotating your right shoulder open, gazing up to challenge your balance. You are also more than welcome to bring your gaze down. And reverse. Come back. Triangle pose. You are welcome to hold it here. If you would like to come into half moon, bend into your left knee and then hinge forward. Whoop. And this is my balance. I look this way. Lift your right leg high, flex your right toes. Right arm can be up, keeping your gaze down towards the floor or challenging your balance by looking up. You can also lose that block if you'd like. Wherever you're at, holding for 3, 2, and 1. Bend into that left knee, lower your foot down, straighten that left leg, reverse. And then come up, finding your warrior one. Left toes are forward, right toes are at that 45-degree angle, shoulders stacked over your hips. From here, bind your hands behind your back. You can also always bring your hands to your lower back. You can shorten or widen your stance. Bend into that front left knee. We're going to come down, humble warrior crunch, and lift. 2 more. Commit to that bend in your front left knee. Back right leg is straight. All right, 1 more. All right, from here, release your hands down to the floor. Straighten your front left leg. Holding and breathing, coming into pyramid. Again, you can shorten that stance of your legs. You can also widen it. You can flip your palms, fingertips facing towards your back right foot, maybe bringing your nose towards your knee, heart towards your thigh. You can have a generous bend in that left leg, or you can hold it straight. Holding and breathing. On your next exhale, gently rise up, bend into that front left knee. Coming back to warrior one. Draw the arms down, left arm underneath the right. So again, just facing you guys to show you. You can clasp your fingertips. You can also grab opposite shoulders. Deep bend to your front left leg. Right leg is straight. Coming down, crunching for 3. Lifting up. 2 more. Slow and controlled. We're not going for speed. Last one. All right. Unbind your hands. Release your arms up high towards the ceiling. Cartwheel your hands down. Extend your left leg back. Keeping that leg lifted or lower it down. Option to lower your knees down. Coming through your flow. Coming back through tabletop to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. All right, from here, walk your hands towards your feet, feet towards your hand, towards the middle of your mat. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. Half lift, hands to shins, crown of your head away from your body. Nice flat back. Forward fold. And then gently roll up slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. From here, roll your shoulders back. It's going to face you guys, but stay in the same position you were in when you rolled up. Arms come up high overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. Few options here. You can come onto your tippy toes and lower all the way down as if you're sliding down a wall. Tippy toes all the way down. Nice strong quads. You can also just come down all the way. Surprised my knees didn't crack. You can rest your hips onto your heels if you want more of a challenge to your balance. I guess I'll say facing this way. You can lift your hips up a little bit higher. Focus on those quads. Focus on your calves. Lift your heels higher. Any option here of your choice. Holding and breathing for 3, 2, and 1. All right. Maybe lift your arms up high overhead. Tree arms. Maybe sway your branches. Challenging that balance. Oh yeah. Maybe come into cow face arms, left arm down, right arm up. This is always my weak side. And of course, what you do on one side, do on the other. Right arm down, left arm up. Come back to center, arms up high overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. From here, bring your hands down to the floor or to our lovely best friend, the block. From here, we're gonna walk our feet out. We're gonna come into Malasana, wide stance. Sink your hips down, open up your hips. Hands at prayer. Maybe sway from one side to the next if that's comfortable for you. Maybe rise up onto your tippy toes, challenging your balance. Maybe lift your upper body. Oh yeah. Lower the heels. Option here, you can release your left hand down, right arm comes up high. Open up your chest. Come back down, hands at prayer. Right hand down, left arm up. Come back down. Hold it here. Holding and breathing. All right, let's get into some core. So from here, stay where you're at. I'm just going to face this way. So from here, we're gonna roll back. You can get there into a boat by just rolling back. You can also release your hands down to help you. You can keep your feet on the floor. You can lift your shins up off the floor. You can extend your arms. You can extend your legs. We're gonna hold it here for 10, 9, that's 8, 7, yes, I'm intentionally slow counting, that's 6, always an option to hold your legs with your hands for support, that's 5, try to get those legs straighter, that's 4, I didn't forget, last 3, last 2, and 1. Go ahead and draw your knees in towards your chest. Curl yourself into a little ball. Rock and roll yourself a few times along your spine. We're not done. All right. On your next one, we're going to roll back. We're going to come into an X-jack. So you're lowering your upper body. Your arms and legs are in that X position, hovering, holding. Crunch everything up, elbows to knees to chest, and extend. Give me 8 more. Crunch and extend. 6 more. You're halfway there. And then we're going to keep that upper body on the floor. 3 more. Stay with me. Last 2. And 1. All right, roll all the way back. Bend your knees. Feet are flat on the floor. Palms by your side. We're gonna lift the hips. Squeeze the glutes. Your thighs are hip-width apart and parallel. And lower. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll from side to side. All right, plant your feet back down. Feet are hip-width apart and parallel. Option again, bring your hands to your sides, lifting your hips, or you can clasp your hands behind your back, underneath your hips. Bring your shoulders, bring your arms under your shoulders. Lift your hips even higher. Pressing your hips forward. Wherever you're at, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If your shoulders are tucked, release them down. Lower your hips, tuck your chin into your chest. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll a few times, side to side. Plant your feet back down. Last time I promised, feet are hip-width apart and parallel. Knees are also hip-width apart and parallel. Hands by your side. We're going to lift and lower for 5. And 4. Slow and controlled. 3 more. Last 2. Yes, you can. 1 more. All right, we're going to hold the hips lifted. Hold it for 10, 9, 8 more. Last 7, 6, 5, 4. Hips higher. 3, 2, and 1. Release your hips down. All right, draw your knees into your chest. Roll yourself side to side. With your knees towards your shoulders, extend your shins, bring your soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, and then grab the outside of your feet, maybe grabbing your hamstrings and just rolling side to side. Happy baby. You can come into any variation, maybe ninja baby, extend one leg, draw the sole of the foot in towards the opposite thigh. And what you do on one side, make sure you do on the other. Maybe come into a wide leg straddle. Hopefully you don't have a door or wall in your way. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Lower back is pressed into the floor the entire time. Draw your legs up towards the ceiling. Arms up towards your toes. Point, flex. Maybe circle out your ankle, your wrist. Reverse the direction. Legs up the wall. From here, go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex your left foot to protect your left knee. And then extend your right leg. We're going to lift and lower for 5. And 4, your right leg is straight, left leg is bent. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Hold the right leg lifted. Weave your hands underneath your left thigh and clasp behind your right thigh. Option to hold that right leg straight. You could also bend that right knee, deepening that stretch. If you'd like, release your head back towards the floor, pulling your shoulders in towards the floor as you simultaneously pull your right thigh in towards your chest, opening up your left hip. Go ahead and release your right foot down. Your left ankle is still on your right thigh. Bring your hands by your side and then let your left knee fall to the left side. Feel that stretch. Right knee over to the right side. One more time on each side. Come back to the middle. Go ahead and place your left foot on the floor. Lift your right leg, place your right ankle over your left thigh. Keep your right toes flexed to protect your right knee. And then draw your left leg up, extend your leg. We're going to lower and lift for 5. Both of your toes are flexed. Your back is pressed in towards the floor. That's 4. Last 3. 2 more. Stay with it. 1 more. And we're going to end with that left leg high up towards the ceiling. Weave your hands under your right knee, clasping your hands underneath behind your left thigh. Option to hold your left leg straight. You can also bend your knee. You can release your neck and your head towards the floor, actively pressing your shoulders towards the floor. They don't have to touch. Feeling that deep stretch as you draw that left thigh towards your chest, opening up your right hip. Gently release your grip behind your left thigh. Release your left foot to the floor. Keep that right ankle on top of your left. Draw the right knee towards the right. And then left knee over to the left. Your hands are just by your side. Feeling that nice stretch of your spine. Over to the right. Back to center, over to the left. Back to center. From here, you can shake out anything else that you may need to. Maybe bicycle legs just to get that blood flowing once again from our stretches. So much movement today, so much great movement of your bodies. And then zip your legs together up towards the ceiling, palms down by your side. Heels to touch, lower your legs slow and controlled. You can of course always have a bend in your knees. Lower your legs all the way to the ground. Heels to touch, toes fall open, palms facing up. Maybe close your eyes. Bring your awareness back towards your breath. Deep inhales from your belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale through your mouth, chest, ribs, and belly. Keeping that breath, letting everything go. And roll to your left or your right side. Curl your knees in towards your chest. Cradle your head with your arm, just boxing out your top arm just in front. And then gently pressing yourself up to a seated position. We have one more final stretch. Cross your right over your left. Sweep your arms up high towards the ceiling. We're going to reach the right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. And then switch, left arm down, right arm comes up high overhead. Come back to the right side. Keep your right hand down. And then bringing your right ear to your right shoulder, left arm is high up overhead. Keep your right ear to your right shoulder as you lift your upper body. Extend your left arm long. So imagine someone's pulling you from your left fingertips down to your right fingertips. Release your right hand from the floor. Your right ear is still towards your right shoulder. And gently place your right hand towards your left ear, keeping that pull of your right ear towards your right shoulder. Your knees are just falling down. Flip your left palm up. Release your left palm towards the floor. And then circle your left arm down and forward. And then reversing that direction, back, up, and forward. Slow and control. Palm stays facing forward. And release your left hand down. Release your right hand down. And then release your left hand to the floor. Right arm comes up high overhead. And right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. Release your left hand down, right arm comes up high overhead. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Keep that sensation between your left ear and your left shoulder. Pull your upper body up while that connection between your left ear and shoulder. Release your right hand out as if someone's pulling for your right hand. Actively release your left hand to your right ear and gently pull your right ear down. Bring your left ear even closer towards your left shoulder. Bring your right palm up and then slowly lower and circle. Make them big circles. Think the bigger the circle, the bigger the heart. And then gently reversing that circle, up and back. Out and release your right hand down, left hand down. Let's switch the bind of our feet. Right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. Switching sides, left arm down. Once more, right hand down, left arm comes up high overhead. Rotate your body facing towards your right hand, maybe bringing your left pinky towards your right thumb. They don't have to touch. And then drawing your left arm out in front, making a big semicircle, as big as you can. Left hand down, right arm comes up high overhead. Gently rotate your body towards your left thumb, maybe bringing your right pinky towards your left thumb. And then huge circle with your right fingertips. Place your hands down, draw your arms up high overhead. Hands to heart center. Thank you all for joining me today, for allowing me to share my practice with you with this lovely yoga and Pilates fusion. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week. Namaste. Thank you all again. My name's Amanda. You know where to find me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you.